Hi, and welcome to Carolina Varsity's look at week 4 of the 2013 season. We're going to recap some of the other games. I'm Dale Ross.
I'm the pep man, Matt Morrow. The first game we're going to take a look at is Mount Tabor defeating Butler 25-19, which is a surprise to both me and Dale. As we talked last week, we felt Butler was going to win this one by a couple scores. Mount Tabor was up in this one 25-0 before Butler scored 19 unanswered points to cut the lead. However, they couldn't pull it out in the end. The thing with Butler, they suffered a couple of big injuries in this one. I hope those kids are at home recovering well. But this loss is tough, you know. Butler is now 2-2. When was the last time they were at 500? You know, this late in the season. And they're going into Richmond, which we'll talk about later.
Yeah, Mount Tabor, we know physical, so
Yeah.
we kind of figured it would be a little bit of a physical thing for them. So obviously that played out to be a tough thing for them. The injuries, you know, if the injuries are there, I do feel for the kids. I do also wonder if they're not inflating it a little bit for the Richmond game, but you know, we'll see. Really, it was a surprise. 14 points is, I think, what we called
Right.
Butler to win, and oh well.
Yeah, it happens. It's high school football, guys.
Exactly.
Next game, we'll take a look at Harding defeating East Meck 48-28, and the Rams moved to 3-0. Harding scoring 48 points was my big surprise in this one. Apparently they had some turnovers happen and they capitalized off of those. East Meck scoring 28. You know, they can throw the ball, and I figured they put up some points, but you know, Harding, you know, that's a good sign. 3-0, and now they're scoring points to go along with that opportunistic defense, even though they've played a very soft schedule.
Exactly. Thought that East would be able to throw some points up. They did. You know, Harding, we said at the beginning of the season that they should and need to win these first 3 ball games. These were all winnable games. They won them, and they've got a somewhat winnable game coming up. We'll talk about that a little bit later.
That's right. Next game, A.L. Brown in a surprising score defeated Berry 45-39. And Berry was up 39-30 late in the fourth quarter, but they couldn't close it out. And, you know, we've heard a lot of talk preseason from Berry about the offensive talent they have over there. And, you know, to go up to A.L. Brown, and even though A.L. Brown's down, this is a good showing for Berry. And if they can build on that, you know, they can be a team that can sneak up and surprise somebody if you're not careful.
You know, the only thing I got to say is last year seeing Berry and their freshman talent that they had, those guys are now sophomores. This looks to be kind of a team kind of like the Hopper, Dawson, you know, kids that came through back a few years ago. It is impressive to go up there and put that many points on Brown. Brown is a young team this year, themselves playing a lot of sophomores, but still, it's A.L. Brown. So, pretty good showing for Berry.
All right, we'll take a look now at Providence defeating Myers Park 21-14, and figure this one be real close. These two are natural rivals, and they continue that rivalry going, even though they're not in the same conference this year. You know, here, you know, it's pretty much what I expected. Jaquavion and Alexander had another big game, over 200 yards rushing. Brian Matar for Providence in the second half, 8 carries for 133 and 2 touchdowns. And that was the difference, you know, in a tight ball game. And, you know, Myers Park, they're playing close games. They just can't get over the hump.
They just can't get over the hump. Alexander, does he have any offers yet?
If he does, I'm not aware of.
Yeah. Coaches, you need to go look at this kid. We're not making it up. He's a ball player.
Right.
Otherwise, you know, we figured this would be a close game. I kind of thought Stein and his offense might put a little more points up than what they did.
Yeah.
So, you know,
yeah, I agree.
they're kind of like right there on that edge. They got a big game coming up this coming week. We'll talk about.
That's right. Well, we'll take a look now at we kind of expected this. I hate to say it. Vance defeating Garinger 71-0. You know, it is what it is with Garinger at this point. We've beat that continuously every week about having to improve and getting more players and such. You know, Vance did what they did. They rotated some guys. The score got out of hand. You know, I hate to see it.
Yeah.
I really do.
Nothing you can do about it, and you know, the thing we can say again is, you know, guarantee kids, you just got to work to get better every day, every game, and get your buddies to come out and play. 23, 24 ball players, not enough to play in this day and age.
Right. Next game we'll take a look at. Porter Ridge defeated South Make 51-10, and you know, I hate to say it with South Make, you've got to find some offensive consistency. You've got to find some ways to get points on the board because, you know, we said it last week. You keep going 3 and out, not moving the ball. You wear your defense out, and that's when the scores get out of hand in the second half because they're tired. They've been on the field all game. Porter Ridge, you know, pretty much what we expected here. And we said it last week. There's not a lot of drop off with these guys, despite all the changes, and they're really getting in gear now. Their confidence is getting higher, and they got a heck of a game coming up.
Exactly. So Porter Ridge, all new coaching staff, graduated a lot of players. He's still right there.
Right.
South Meck, I agree with Pat Mann. You know, the defense is playing well, but if the defense is on the field, as much as they're having to be on the field, they're going to get wore out, and this is going to happen. So I agree. Offense, you've got to put some drives together. You know, even if they don't result in points, you got to put some drives together. String them. You know, be on the field 5, 7, 10 downs at least. Really, that's it.
Next game, RG Kell defeated Cuthbertson 22-7. You know, Cuthbertson fought and they hung in there. You know, we heard some good things about the Cuthbertson environment and the stadium from the RG Kell guys. But RG Kell's 3-1, and you know, they're a team to watch now. You know, they've got a game with West Meck in 2 weeks, and I'll tell you, if West Meck sleeps on these guys, you know, you better look out.
Exactly. So they ended the season on a losing streak, started the season out with a win, but now they got a win streak going. So, you know, 3 in a row, and you know, we kind of expected this win, but you know, Coach Hastings is kind of getting things going. You don't have the injuries that they had last year. These guys could make some noise in conference.
That's right. Yeah. And last game we'll recap: Rocky River defeating Hunter Huss, 28-17. First half, another slow start for Rocky River, but something happened at halftime. And I tell you, as a former coach, sometimes you gotta have those what they call them come to Jesus meetings.
Yeah.
And in the second half, they had over 200 yards offense, and they did what they had to do here. Hunter Huss, I'll give you some credit. You know, 2A school, fighting hard and keeping that game close against a much talented team, a team more talented than you are. And Carry-On Moore had a big game, almost 150 yards rushing. But Rocky River pulled it out, and even though they've been struggling, they're still 3-1.
Well, you know, first of all, we did say that Moore would be the kid they had to follow everywhere he went.
Right.
You know. Of course, he proved to be the case, or that proved to be the case. We also said that Rocky River, you got to generate offense. This is the game you're going to have to generate offense. You should be able to. And up until the first half, you still were on that same pace of
21 yards of offense.
Exactly. That's just unacceptable. Granted, you made some adjustments, whatever those adjustments were. I don't know if it's something you saw or if you got some kids to, you know, step up and see straight, but, you know, Coach Harmon, you got to get your offense to moving the ball. You got that three-headed monster, and that three-headed monster should have 3 100-yard rushers in a game like this.
And that's our recaps. Stay tuned for more.
Thank you.